We found parts of the bodies all over the house, in places you wouldn't think. The funny thing is the heads have never been found. Hands and feet and things like that, but no heads.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 13th podcast.
Tonight, we're going to sit down and talk to the lovely Mandy Cummins from Marion, Ohio. She is the lead investigator and medium of the Ghost Sisters. So funny thing about this is that I forgot to click unmute on the audio. So we're going to redo this show. Since she's so awesome to come back and do it. Guys, Andrew, Zach, say hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
So now we are absolutely recording to do this show. So tonight we're going to sit down and talk with Mandy Cummins. Again, guys, we just had a really long conversation with her, and it was a really good story. I'm not going to get to it, but this is basically round 2 on the lovely podcast of the 13th podcast. This is now the second time I've done this, and this time we're willing to do it again, try again, and see what happens. Andrew, do you have any partakes or any questions you want to ask this lady again and talk to her about some stuff?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to ask her about her first investigation, how that went for her, previous investigations she just had, and then future investigations that she's going to have.
Now, did you send the link out to her?
Sent.
Cool. So she'll be joining us here in a moment. I'm really excited about this one again. Really upsetting that we wasn't able to post it, but it is what it is. You know, you learn from your mistakes, and I know this time for a fact everything is unmuted. So we'll jump right into it. The show is already starting, guys, and I'm really pissed off that I did that. Because that was really good content, and it is what it is on that one. It's okay. You can't. Zach, could you have like a light shown on you or something? There you are. Hello. Now you're gone.
Sorry. Just reinstalled Tarkov,
What
and I did not know it opened.
What's Tarkov?
Escape from Tarkov. It's just a mil sim. One of the best shooters out there. The scariest shooters out there. It's amazing. And it's actually really, really difficult too. It's no radar, no nothing. You're sent out into Tarkov, and you gotta get loot, shoot everybody, take their loot, and escape without dying, because if you die, you lose everything. And those people can pick it up. Great game.
Recording in progress.
Hey, guys. Recording is in progress.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's okay. I've recorded, and that's safety, guys.
Yes, sir. We need that type of safety.
I can't believe I did that. Hey, Zach.
I almost fell for it again, dude. I was about to say, what's up?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm now.
Hey,
Zach. Hey, Zach, have you any paranormal experiences?
Yeah. I talk about it I think once. I'm pretty sure. My most favorite was the shadow just chilling on my garbage can. I just woke up middle of the night and saw like a white figure sitting on my trash can, and I fell asleep terrified and had the tapping on the pillows slowly approaching my head. Another terrified sleep. Probably didn't fall asleep for like another 2 hours. And then nothing recently. I really wish something would happen recently, but all the negative energy in the house is gone, and it's just what I would just love to get more experiences from doing this,
Yeah.
Mine are, like, from what we heard, I think mine are pretty boring.
What are your guys' thoughts about the paranormal? Like, where's your percentage at?
90-10 believing, for sure.
Andrew?
For sure.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
You're 100%?
Yeah.
What about yours?
I'm about 80% sure that it's real.
That's solid.
That 10% has been lurking on my shoulders for a very long time, and I really want to get involved in it. Hence why we're really touching base into the 13th podcast to actually give it a name what it's supposed to be. The superstition of superstition of the 13, the number 13, man. The 13 number is such a bad number to have in your life, dude. Today,
What's bad about it?
it's like bad luck, man.
Oh, okay.
My birthday falls on the 13th. My second birthday was Friday the 13th, and that's just a bad luck day.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, man. I am.
So I'm just like, man, okay. So how much bad luck can I really have? Is it true? Is it real? Or is it just something that people keep talking about and you just think that it's real?
The stories to scare people.
The stories that scare people. And that's the same thing with like urban legends and shit. I know you just didn't realize that we have urban legends in Ohio that are real, supposedly. The grass man, dude, that shit's crazy as fuck. Me and Andrew are very convinced that shit's not real.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers are wearing fake feet. But
Yeah.
I would love, or raincoats, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that can convince us that this stuff is real.
Not the grass man.
Look it up, man. It's a wild
I
story.
feel like it's a dude in a ghillie suit.
It could be. It fucking could be.
It's
Oh, wow,
literally
actually
what my
looks-
notes say.
Dead on the big. Wait, where's Marion? Because it shows exactly on like the Ohio, like it shows Ohio in the map, and there's a dot where like most sightings happen.
Yeah, look at Andrew's fucking look at his wall.
Yeah.
That's his map.
To zoom. Yeah. Well, no, it shows like the state,
Mhm.
and then it gives a dot, and it's like north, kind of like a little south of Cleveland, like I guess southwest of Cleveland. It shows just a small red dot, and it says possible appearance of the grass man.
So where is Marion? Is it?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
That's up north, I believe, near Columbus.
Oh, okay. So like an hour, 2 hours. Oh, that's actually straight east of it. Not too far though. Not far. Like it's far enough where he would definitely could travel because he don't have a job. He don't be doing anything but scaring the people of Ohio, dude. Yeah, I mean it could be close enough, but it's directly above Dayton, directly above it.
Directly above, so it's not too far at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Is it past Troy and stuff?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not too far.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. She definitely could have had an experience.
Hello,
with it.
Mandy. Welcome back.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah, I made a mistake.
It happens.
Man, I remember I was sitting here and we were talking and I went to my little program I have and I saw right next to the mics that one of the mics had a cross in it and I was like, oh no. And then we were you guys were talking and the bars weren't moving and I was just sitting here like, oh shit. I messed up. I messed up bad.
Same with
No,
mine.
I told Andrew, I said, man, you got to get a hold of her ASAP to see if she's able to do this. So now we appreciate you 10 times more for doing this. This is the second time. I had a really great story. I was talking to this young lady that had a really traumatizing life, and she told us about 2 hours. And I went back and I listened to it, and it was muted. I'm like, holy crap! So this time we're recording the show on Zoom, and then we're also recording on the program. So like we're double featured. I know Zach's recording, Andrew's recording, and everybody's recording. So now we got the audio. So here we go again. All right. Well, again, I appreciate you for doing this. I'm so sorry that we had to get you back. All right.
I love talking about the paranormal.
Yeah,
So.
the story that you gave us, that was remarkable to hear your guys' experience. And one question I'll start off with. So you have 3 members of the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all biological sisters.
Yes.
Are you the oldest, youngest, middleest?
I'm the middle.
The middle. Nice. Now, were they involved?
I got them involved.
Now, what were their thoughts about the paranormal?
Well, Chastity's actually, she's the oldest. She's been with me since I started this whole thing. Bobby Joe came on like 2.5 years ago. So we've had other women that were not our sisters on the team, but things don't work out and everybody goes their own way. So, but I feel like it was just meant to be us, my biological sisters. So, and it's working out great.
Are they convinced?
Well, Bobby's a skeptic, and Chastity's had things happen to her, nothing major. She's still waiting on that wow moment for her, but she's had little things that she can't explain. Just visitation from spirit, our Father.
So you said Bobby Joe's the skeptic,
She's the youngest. Yep.
and she just is it the fact that like she just doesn't understand or she doesn't want to like believe?
I would. She's not. Actually, I want to say she's not a full blown skeptic. So she's had experiences, but she's still kind of like, that didn't really happen. Was it this? You know, she's half and half. So
Okay.
she's half believer and half skeptic,
Oh.
I'd say.
Now, when it comes to doing the investigations together, do you guys find time to do it all together at once, or do you guys do it separately sometimes?
My sisters can't go with me all the time. They work full time. My sister has a business. My older sister has a business. So she's got the type of business where she can take it anywhere she wants, but she's just always in meetings, just busy. So I'll go alone. I've actually went by myself and investigated and spent the night at places, or I'll invite some of our friends or followers that I know that, they're loyal to us, and or I'll just collaborate with other people and go. So
That's pretty cool. Now, do you prefer doing indoors, or do you like doing outdoor stuff?
both.
Both. Okay. Where do you get your most active activity? Is it like indoors or outdoors or anything?
It really just depends on where you're at. We did spend the night one time at a location, a cemetery in Tennessee, which was very active. We got some really crazy EVP recordings, which was really good. A baby crying, it was sad, on the recorder. I think we even got children laughing and things like that. But it was a really haunted, old cemetery in Tennessee. We spent the night there, investigated all night. So it just depends. The cemetery's usually going to be active, but most places to me are. It just depends on where you're at. Cemetery, you could be in a tunnel, you could be on a battlegrounds. It just depends on the location.
Okay. Andrew, what was that cemetery that we went up to that one time in the middle of the night? You said it the other night.
I don't remember what the cemetery is called, but it's over there where the motorcycle man, the disappearing motorcycle man, has been
It's over
seen.
there, by Houston Woods.
Oh, in Oxford? Yeah.
In Oxford. Supposedly there's this story where you park on this. Well, you get on this road, and you have to pull into this driveway, turn around, and then park at this bend, and you have to be facing either east or west. I think it's east. And you turn off all your lights. You flash your lights 3 times, and then within 10, 15 minutes, a little light off in the distance, probably about like 2 miles away, and it looks like this motorcycle's hauling ass towards you, and you're like, what's going on? But it's also, you don't know if it's like a reflection from like other lights, because there is a highway off in the distance. So it's like that one I'm kind of skeptic about, but it is kind of scary as a kid. You see something like that on a haunted road where it's like, nah, I don't know about this. But the cemetery, I forget what it was called, but the old legend, old myth, whatever, what the heck it was, they built this wall to keep like vampires and werewolves out, and it's built in like early 1700s, an old cemetery. Where I went there, and we went with again, we were teenagers. Went there with a bunch of friends and stuff, and I ended up getting hurt. I had a scratch on the back of my neck, where I was like, whoa, what was that? But apparently if something comes home with you, something's going to be happening. And nothing happened, but it was just an odd feeling that with the people that we were with, they just acted strange. I don't know if it was them just playing it off as in like, something's not right or whatever, but it was kind of eerie to think like, what if we accidentally bring something home?
Mm-hmm.
And I know Andrew wanted to ask you a question about bringing stuff home, about the 2 investigators that are super famous. Andrew, I'm gonna let you take part in that with Ed Warren and stuff.
And Lorraine.
Ed, Lorraine, and stuff.
Mhm.
Andrew, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't. No.
No, you
Drawing a
don't.
blank.
You don't.
I don't
So
know what you're talking about.
what are your thoughts on Ed and Lorraine?
Ed,
Well, of course.
yeah.
Was
Yeah,
that,
you're good.
Was that
You're good.
question for me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's okay. I like them. Of course, I'm gonna like Lorraine. You know, she's a medium, so I like her work. I like you know, the things that she's achieved and accomplished. Yeah, I think they kind of set off a lot of the, you know, the paranormal field too. You know, of course, there's taps and ghost adventures and things like that. But Ed and Lorraine, they, you know, they kind of went and started doing things out there before it was even heard of. Actually, I'm not for sure if they were the first ones. I think there was the Holzer files. They were doing it too. But
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine were definitely one of the big ones in the field. Before anybody really done anything like that, they were doing it, actually going to people's homes and dealing with these cases and learning how to, you know, communicate with spirit and help people.
Yeah, yeah. Their story is just I don't even know. There's not even a word for it, but their story is remarkable on how they do things. I think obviously the most famous one is the Annabelle, the Raggedy Ann doll, where supposedly that doll just never left and it was possessed by a demon, and now it's locked up in Lynn Drive, Monroe, Connecticut. And I guess there's a museum that you can go up there and visit, but you have to like I don't think they just let anybody and everybody in. I think it's strictly like you have to. I don't know. I just think that's a weird thing. I personally would love to go into the room with all the objects and hidden objects and stuff. But it's also one of those things is like, I'm a very, very ADHD person, hence why I forgot to unmute you. And I think with what the question I'm about to ask is, do you honestly believe that spirits, demons, things can get attached to objects like that?
Oh yeah, yes. I actually have something that has a child attached to it.
Oh my.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you
there's a
explain that a
story.
little bit?
Yes. I was contacted probably about 2-3 years ago by another paranormal team in Tennessee. They wanted to do a video chat with me to see if I could get a reading on this stuffed animal. Now it's a donkey from Winnie the Pooh,
Okay.
Eeyore.
Okay.
Okay, and it's funny because he's actually in a duck suit, like a pair of pajamas. Never seen Eeyore like that, but you know. And they wanted me to do a reading. At the time, the donkey was in a clear plastic bag, which I get it. Okay, they didn't want it to get dirty, whoever had it. Well, the story was the boy had his whole family was killed in a car accident in Tennessee back in the 90s. And his grandmother had actually bought him the donkey, and it was his. And the donkey was in the casket with him at the time. And the grandmother, she wanted them to take it out. She didn't want them to bury him with it. So they ended up taking the donkey and giving it to the grandmother. She kept it in the plastic bag. So they wanted me to give this item, this donkey, a reading here. But I didn't know that backstory until later. I actually just recently found out not too long ago.
Okay.
But when I was giving the reading, I picked up on a little boy right away, and I said his name begins with the letter D. And I said, he's young, he's not that old. I was putting him at 5 or 6 because I kept hearing him say mama. He kept calling me mama. And so they told me, they said, you're right, he is. We don't know exactly how old he is, but we do think he's around that age. And his name is Daniel.
Oh my.
And we call him Bubby. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And I said, well, he keeps wanting to call me mama. I kept hearing him say that. And they said that they had to go pick him up from the grandmother because she could no longer handle the child spirit because he was very he was turning on and off her stove, locking her car doors, and she just couldn't handle it no more. So she called the team up, told them to come and get him. And they contacted me. Well, they would put a K2 up to the donkey, and a K2 is like it's like an EMF detector.
Okay.
So it picks up on
Electronic
magnetic
phenomenal, like stuff
yes,
like okay.
yeah, magnetic field energy.
Thank you,
So-
ghost hunters.
Yes, and it's only a stuffed animal. There's no batteries. There's nothing in this thing. It's just a stuffed animal. And this K2 would go crazy when they would put it against the donkey. And they did it on the video chat with me, and they're like, "Do you want to go home with Mandy?" And I'm like, "I'll take him." I was like,
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
He's already calling me mama, and he's connecting with me.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah, they were hesitant on letting it go, and they regret it to this day because he has become Ghost Sisters mascot, and everyone who follows us, who's been following us, they know who he is. They know the story. So, but the little boy is still here with me. I've got so many videos of him saying his name to me. I've actually captured him running through my house, giggling. I cannot have him in this room with me or he will shut down everything.
Oh
I can
my.
have my porcelain dolls. These dolls have things going on too, but they will not mess with my electronics, but he will. He is in my room. He's the only one that stays in my room, but he is got this attachment, and I think it's because that was given to him when he was still alive, and he's attached to it for whatever reason.
Well, that's
But
pretty
he's
cool.
here. He follows me everywhere.
Huh. Man. See, now I think that'd be pretty cool to, have a young child, especially that looks to you as a mother figure. But, to other people, you're just like, man, I mean, it's kind of scary, kind of spooky in a way, but you seem so calm about it.
Yeah, yeah, because well, another thing, people's like, well, how do you know it's not like another spirit pretending to be a child? I'm like, yeah, you're right, it could be, but I don't feel that with him, and I'm telling you, there is a strong energy with that donkey. When you pick that donkey up, you can feel the energy off this donkey.
That's
And
wild.
it's not a bad thing. It's not bad at all. It's just it's kind of sad because I can't get him to leave. He won't go. It's not like he's inside the donkey. He's just got this attachment to it. So wherever the donkey goes, he goes, if you know
It's
what
just
I mean.
like he's home.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Andrew, I know you had a few questions for.
So, working in corrections, you was a corrections officer. I did a small stint at LECI as a corrections officer. Yeah, wasn't for me, but I heard some stories there about what the third shift guards would witness. And did you witness anything?
You know what? I'm glad you asked because I do have a lot of stories. Working in law enforcement for 8 years. Yes, being sensitive and medium, and yes, I actually had them follow me from the jail. They would come here. They've actually followed me from the jail to a location. There was one time I was working on the weekend. I was working down in female housing, and I was already picking up on some weird stuff going on down there. And this was first shift. Well, I went to the locker room to change, and I was the only person in there. Nobody was with me. And I just knew somebody was in there, spirit wise. So when I'm in there changing, I hear this loud noise, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting creeped out, right? Well, I go around to look and see what it was. Well, spirit had knocked the bottle of soap over into the sink because it was sitting on the counter and it knocked it over. And I'm like, okay, somebody's definitely here. So I get dressed and I'm heading to the location here in Ohio. And when we got there, I told my team, I said, look, something followed me from work. I'm telling you, something's here. We were down in the basement at the Gill House in Galion, Ohio. And I said, do you know my name? And this guy came through and he said, Metzger. Now that was my maiden name. Now, who calls you by your last name when you're working in law enforcement? inmates call you by
Inmates,
your last
yeah.
name. And I was like, I told you guys something followed me. And he said it so clear. We actually posted it on our social media because it was like awesome to catch it,
Yeah, that's insane.
They've talked to me. I would be at work and instantly Spirit would say there's going to be a signal 4. And I'm like, no signals. I don't want a signal 4. Boom.
Right.
5 minutes later, signal 4. And I'm like, oh my God. And that would happen to me a lot working there. I knew when they were up to no good, and I hated it when they would come in the back door, because when I had to do pat downs and stuff like that, I would instantly, their family want to come through to me, and a lot of stuff. And I've seen a lot of bad things there, and there was a lot of stuff that took place there.
So here's a fun fact, and I'm hoping that you know this. So are you German?
Metzger is German.
Metzger is German.
I am more Italian than anything. My father, he was half Italian and half German.
Cool. So like my family's 100% German. I have a hell of a last name.
Full-blooded.
My last name's Gehring. So the Metzger in German means butcher. That's badass. That's awesome. So I was like, because I seen Metzger, I'm like, man, I know that name. And when I was working in a haunted house, but I'm still working in a haunted house, I had a buddy, and his actor name was Metzger. And he told me about it, and then he was like, yeah, in German, that means butcher. And then I saw your name down there. I'm like, man, I wonder if she knows that her name in German means butcher. So if you go over there, you're going to be the butcher.
Oh,
Sorry, that was completely random, and I had to throw that in there.
Thanks for confirming that.
You're welcome. And I was like, man, she's got to be German. So anyways, yes, Andrew, continue. Sorry.
I think I know what you was talking about earlier about Ed and Lorraine Warren and what I had to ask. So when they passed down the business to their son-in-law.
Yeah.
And he just came out with a Netflix series called 28 Hour Haunted.
Yep.
Yep. And those 3 groups, they all had a medium or a sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's beneficial for an investigation team to have?
I think it can be, because I've seen shows and I've seen people, go into locations that don't have mediums. They do get stuff. It's not that they don't, but sometimes having someone who's really sensitive, you might get more communication, whether it's a man or a female.
Right.
They might be able to pick up on something that you didn't find out, that you couldn't find in your research. So,
right.
And then Spirit might confirm that when they're there. So I think it can be beneficial. It can be.
What did you think about that?
Because I'm a medium, but I just.
Now,
did you watch that Netflix series?
Yes, I'm actually friends with a lot of them that's on there.
Oh, really?
That's
What did you think about it?
I thought it was pretty interesting how they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. The best one. Well, I better not say that because I'm friends with a lot of them.
Go for it.
It was good. Yeah, it was interesting. When it came out, I watched the whole thing. I thought that was a unique way to do it. Not knowing anything, going in blindfolded. You know, that's the best way to connect. That's what I like.
And that's what you said you liked. You
yeah,
wanted to know the information.
anything.
Yeah, you just want to find it out.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's
I think
cool.
Having the demonologist and
A psychic
a psychic
Psychic?
is definitely a good
combination, huh?
Yeah. I
Now,
think they need somebody else, though.
Is like a sensitive and a medium. A sensitive is people that are sensitive to the paranormal, and then a medium is the people that can sense the paranormal, correct?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, because the medium, she's the bridge between the spiritual world and what's going on here. It's what I can't. People ask me all the time. They try to get me to explain how I do what I do. I can't explain what I do because sometimes I'm blown away with what I do and things I connect with and I pick up on. It's crazy. It's interesting too.
Now, the one thing I've always been kind of a skeptic about is orbs.
Yeah.
Orbs are hard to comprehend in a way because a lot of it has to do with bugs or dust particles. lights and
Yep.
stuff. How can
Yeah.
you tell the difference between an orb, an actual phenomena, an orb, to a dust or a bug or anything?
Okay, so I have actually seen orbs with my eyes,
Okay.
colorful ones too. I've seen a gold one and I've seen a pink one with my own eyes. But you have to be careful when you're using night vision cameras because the IR on there will make dust look like it's an orb. Okay, it'll flicker them, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh wow, God, there's an orb." No, it's not. It's just that's what it does. It flickers them and makes them look like they're more than what they are, and it's just dust. Now, if you have something moving in a very odd manner, the way it's, if it's just kind of pausing, just looking around and then it moves again and it's just doing the odd thing. Now, I would say there's something about that, and it doesn't even have to be an orb, it could be a light anomaly,
Okay.
which we've captured a lot of those.
Yeah.
You just got to know the difference and what to look for.
Yeah.
And
I
do
think
your
that's-
research on the bugs and what they look like on cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I remember just watching like a bunch of TV shows, and I was like, oh man, I captured an orb, and you're looking at it, you're like, dude, I see wings on it. Well, I don't know what you're saying. Like Andrew and I were watching a video. I think it was last night or the night before, and we were just watching just paranormal videos. And this guy swears up and down on the security camera there was an orb or a black mass. And these two guys were walking in the thing, and it was a black mass, and it just goes away. Well, if you pause the video really quickly and just look at this black mass, you can see the little legs slowly crossing over the camera, and then it just disappears. Now, to the naked eye, it will look like a black mass that's standing in the parking lot next to these two guys that are a little bit smaller because they're off in the distance. But if you look at the video itself, you can actually see either a mosquito or a spider. It's like, okay, that's when it's like, okay. But it's so hard for me to believe sometimes because it's like technology today is unreal. It's unbelievable.
Did they try to debunk it?
I don't
Did they
think so.
show
It
that?
looked like it was overseas somewhere. They definitely didn't look American at all. But I don't know. Nobody. I mean, I can't. It was just a video of like the top 10 most scariest videos.
Okay.
But there was one video that really gets me, and you've probably seen it. It was in a hotel, and it was off a security camera, and there was a woman screaming in this hotel room. Bloody murder, screaming for help. Well, the security guard comes, and cold chills, and he's like, hey, they're screaming coming from this room, so I'm going to go in and investigate. Well, as soon as he opens the door, their screaming still continues. He walks in, and this white mass flies straight out of the room, like instantly. And I was like, whoa. But again, it's also, you got to see it to believe it kind of thing. And I'm hoping that it's real, 100%. But it's also one of those things, it's like, how can something that, I don't even know how to explain a ghost or anything or a spirit, but how does it do that? How does it interfere with like electricity? How does it interfere with the
It
audio?
pulls energy.
That's crazy.
They have to have energy because you're made up of energy.
Yes.
So you got to understand that's why when you're out in the field, batteries drain. I mean, this was going on last night for us. We couldn't keep batteries. I mean, it was like we just put batteries in something and it wasn't even 15 minutes later, boom, dead. They're pulling all the energy they can, but they also can pull your energy too. So you got to be careful.
When you say it pulls our energy, what do you mean by that?
Well, I am someone that'll tell them, hey, you can pull from, you can use my energy, you can use whatever our devices here, but even if you don't ask, sometimes spirits will do that. They'll use your energy. They'll pull your energy because they need energy to manifest. They got to have energy to move things. It takes a lot for them to be able to do the things that they do. Every little bit they do, they got to have that energy.
Wow. Yeah, I never really thought about any of that when it comes to like, does it like just drain you or make you feel tired and drowsy and stuff, or is it just like You know,
I'm a
like
real hyper person and I got a lot of energy and I can just go, 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 go.
yes.
But it does drain you. I mean, when we investigate, sometimes we'll be out till 5 in the morning, and you're just delusional at that point because you've been, out there with all that energy. But yeah, it's draining. It can. And we get what you call what they call paranormal hangover.
Okay.
So like, oh, you're feeling it.
What are your thoughts on what are they called? Dowling rods, the rods itself.
Okay, the rods.
How do those work?
Those are, of course, we're meant to find water and stuff, out in the fields and things like that. But water is a conductor for spirit. So I think they work great. I do have a pair. I have not used them in probably a year. So I never know when I'm going to grab those and use them, but they can also be manipulated. So you have to be careful.
Okay.
They can be.
Now,
So,
will that have to do with like the fact of like it may be just the water itself?
well, the thing is, people, yeah, and you got to think where you're at, and is there a bathroom near you? Is there a sink? Is there water in the location you're at? Because they're going to do that. They're going to cross.
And aren't they copper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's wild. That's completely crazy. I know there's this one experience that it's not really an experience, but I went to this haunted house tour in Newport, Kentucky. I forget what the museum was called, but they were doing these little ghost investigations. They supplied everything. They had I don't know what it's called, but it's like a laser, but it shoots all these dots.
Okay, yeah, yes, laser beam.
Yes, and they used that. They used the EVP's recordings. They had the spirit boxes, and they also had what was the other thing? I don't know what it was. It was so long ago. But anyways, they had us.
REM pod? Was it K2s, REM pods, cat balls?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I know this person had some pretty cool equipment, and I thought it was wild. But anyways, they had to sit us in this chair. And apparently this chair has been through a lot. There's a lot of history behind it. A lot of people have sat in this chair. And it was covered by, like, kind of looked like an outhouse, but it was indoors. So she gave us this blindfold with these earmuffs, sound canceling stuff. And they said,
Estes method.
Yes. And they said, close your eyes and just listen. So we listened, there's nothing going on. But it wasn't about what we're hearing, it's about what we're thinking. And then I started thinking about this was crazy to me, about a burning building. A lot of people was dying. I don't know where it was coming from. It was just really morbid. And I was in that chair for like 5 minutes while these people, random strangers, were just watching me, and then everybody else did it. Cool. We sat down. We talked about it. Some people said that they didn't really feel nothing. Some people said that they felt like they're at a house. And then the person was really intrigued about mine because they said back in like the early 80s, there was a massive fire at this museum and 2 people died. And that's when I was like, what the hell? Like, no. And I was like, holy crap. He was like, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that happened. And when he told me about that, I was so intrigued and I wanted more. And I only paid like probably like $40 to do this thing. And it was a really fun experience for me. Now, have you ever done anything like that?
Yes, I was thinking you did the Estes method, which is where you use the noise counseling things, but you're actually listening to the spirit box and they're asking you questions, but you can't hear them asking you. You were doing something else, and I can't remember what that method is called. But yes, I've actually done this at the Ewer Shrine in Bristol, Tennessee. And I couldn't see anything. I was in a closet that they call the Crossroads, and this is where these haunted dolls are hanging on trees and these haunted masks, and I'm talking everything in this area. And they had me stand there, and it's an uncomfortable feeling, and I just tapped into spirit, and I was just couldn't see, but I was talking and just picking up on whatever and saying whatever. So yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that. Like I was telling these guys a little bit ago that like I have a really big fear of somebody's always watching me. I don't know what it is. It absolutely terrifies me every day. But it literally feels like somebody's always watching me. I work in a mill that was built in the 1800s. We make facer paper. And there's maybe during third shift, probably about 6 people in our basement. Is absolutely terrifying. Just because it's spooky doesn't mean it's haunted. But I always literally feel like somebody is just there staring into my soul. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's like that. And it's a really big fear. I have to shut my doors at night. I have to. And if
They
I don't,
will follow you from your workplace.
I don't like
They'll
that.
follow you from anywhere.
Good luck sleeping at night, buddy.
I know, and that's a fear, and it really messes me up. And then, like my anxiety, I have really bad anxiety, and like it just like it triggers like whoa, okay, like back up a little bit. I have to step back. I gotta say me a little prayer real quick to get my mind off some things. But I truly believe that somebody's watching me, and it's been happening since I was probably about like 15 years old, and I can't just put my tongue to it. I don't know what it is. So I'm
Well,
just
you got to be careful too, because your fear, they will feed off of that fear, and your fear can actually create a poltergeist. So you got to be careful.
I don't want that.
When you're really fear of things, you could even create the doppelganger too. So you want to be careful.
You just said that, and that gave me some cold chills. I do not like that.
Where you see yourself, my daughter, she was so terrified as a teenager, seeing all these spirits. And I mean, she was seeing, she'll kill me for saying this, but she was seeing these floating heads and stuff. And it just, she was just terrified. This kid was terrified. And it was so bad to the point where she actually saw her own self in the kitchen.
No.
And I said, oh my gosh, this is getting out of control.
That's bone chilling.
I don't like that.
You got to be careful. Your fear, and spirits will feed off your fear. And depending what type of spirit, if it's an actual spirit or is it something non-human, you just got to be careful with these things.
I don't know what it is. The feeling that I feel when I start feeling like that, I've actually made a really good video about. I had to make a video on how I see things, and it's on our Instagram, on TikTok and stuff. And I made a video of me laying in bed, and I looked off into the door, and at first you don't see nothing, and then I don't know. And again, I don't know if it has to do with all the horror movies I've seen or the crazy imagination that I have, but then when it transitions back into the actual door itself, I made myself on top of the door, staring above the door, just staring at me. Dark. And it's super dark. And I don't know what it is, but like when it comes to doing content and like that stuff, my brain always goes to the most darkest things. But that's what I feel every day, that something dark and bad is looking at me.
You are really sensitive, and spirits know when people are really sensitive. It's like we're like a bright light in the dark. So you got to be careful, and you really need to protect yourself, because you could have something that might be attached to you. It's been following you, making you feel these things. You just got to be careful. Do you ever sage and cleanse yourself?
No.
Do you ground yourself? Do you go outside?
Now.
Hug a tree, ground yourself. You need to sage.
I go to church every Sunday.
And the more I went to church too, the spirits were really bad at me.
Yes.
It got worse.
It's like I'm pissing them off because I'm going to church.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm like, okay. So cleansing is probably the best thing by saging and stuff.
Yes, I always call on the Archangel Michael to, go into battle for me. I'm like,
absolutely.
Please, I feel something on me. You have to remove this.
Now, what about
I'm affected by people's energies. I walk into an area, I don't even have to know you, and it's like, whoa, back up, whoa,
What about like crystals and stuff? Do those work?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I have my
wonderful.
crystals. I do. And I do. I got different ones, but I have spray sage I carry around in my purse because, we're sisters. We do argue a lot. So their energies affect mine. So I'm like, I'm going to spray you guys, it's like,
okay.
But different things out there can affect your energy. And people who are real sensitive, those things will just like attach to you. You want to be careful.
With the Mortis brought up the like praying thing. Like when you're investigating, have you ever felt like a kind of energy where you like kind of had to pray, or someone around you, like your group or something, had to pray to get something that you thought was dangerous away from you? Does anything like that ever happen?
Um,
I don't know if it's like a movie thing, or but I was
I
just
know what you're
wondering if
talking
it
about.
was like a real thing that actually like people have done before, like if you experienced or.
We have been out there in the field, and we did pick up on something dark because we've heard growls, and it's like, oh no. And I would say, okay, I am very protected. You are not gonna, nope, nope. And I would say a little prayer, but no, usually my sisters would always just say, I'm protected, nothing can hurt me, our own little thing. But we used to be the type that would say a prayer right before we'd start the investigation. And then someone once told us, did you guys ever think that you saying the prayer before you go in could be slowing down you getting that information from them? You might not get communication as well as you would if you were not doing that before you go in.
Wow.
And I was like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we kind of stopped doing that prayer before we go out to investigate. And yeah, we actually started getting more.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now, does your sisters and stuff still do they do the saging and stuff with you?
They have sage and stuff. They have their own. I don't think my younger sister does, but my older sister does. And yeah, I mean, the energy when you're out there investigating, it will affect you, and they will follow you. We tell them, do not follow us, but that's like telling a little kid they can't do something and they're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly how that is.
What
Every
is that
single
sage
day.
spray? Like what's different than like lighting sage? Like what's the sage spray?
The spray is the same thing. It's just in a bottle. It's just simple. It's just spray yourself, and it's just a mist that comes out. You just don't have to deal with lighting and dealing with the smoke from the sage.
Just
Oh,
quicker.
that's,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
This is good.
Hmm.
I used to have to do it before I went into work. When I worked in law enforcement, I was saging myself before, and I was saging myself after.
Yep.
Now, have you ever dealt with I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The voodoo stuff.
There's a lot of that at the Ewer Shrine.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, there's a voodoo doll. Her name's Lisa Marie, they call her. She has fangs. She's just a cloth doll in a red dress with fangs, and she actually came from a lady who had her who was into voodoo. And this doll is very haunted. I've heard this doll giggling. This doll I'd be talking to the caretaker of the shrine on the phone, and you would hear that doll laughing. I've been on podcasts before, and you would hear the doll laughing. She's actually moved my dolls before, and you would hear her giggling. Yeah, there's some stuff going on with when it comes to voodoo. There's a coconut that they have there. I think his name is Pueblo or something like that. And he's a voodoo. Came from a voodoo priest, had him. And it's just a coconut. Creepy looking coconut, guys. You do not want to touch this thing. No, don't touch him. And so the caretaker has to please this spirit that is attached to this coconut. He has to give it a cigarette almost every night and a shot of whiskey.
No shit. Wow.
Now,
Wow.
piggybacking off
right?
of that, when we got the voice recording from the actor from The Haunt, she said there was a doll in there that was
Possessed, basically.
a little girl had manifested into the doll, and you cannot touch the doll without permission, and if you do, it spits black dust at you and you cough up black
Gunk.
to reenact the burning that she went through when she died. She was caught on fire and died that way, I believe.
Now,
But we were skeptic about that. I was like, I would need to see video proof of that. But with you saying that about the priest needs to,
basically
please.
bless it. Yeah.
like, oh, this is real.
Well, put it to you this way: this guy, I won't say his name, but he's big on TikTok, and he goes around to these haunted places, and he managed to get into the Ura Shrine, and he was told don't touch nothing in the witch's stead because there's haunted artifacts in there. There's a mask from an Indian tribe. There's all kinds of creepy, scary things in there, and the coconuts in there, Pueblo, and well, what did he do when he was live? He's in there touching.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
touching all of them.
Yeah, that's where you
Needless
make the
to
mistake.
say, I think something happened to him. I don't remember what it was, but I think he got the crap scared out of him.
Now, when
He
it
was
comes
born.
when it comes to like touching an artifact that has like a paranormal thing attached to it, when you say something happens to you, is it has to do with like your luck, your personal appearance, your day-to-day life is just oddly different? When do you start to notice things where you're just like, whoa, like something's not right here? Is that when you're just like, okay, I want to take a step back. Let me go where I was a few days ago. What happened? So let's say like I did touch the coconut, and is it like a curse, or is it like, hey, don't touch me, and this is just a warning? Do you cleanse yourself with sage then to basically tell the spirit to back off?
Well, I've never touched him, so but but it did belong to a voodoo priest, and I would sage myself, and I would definitely apologize to the thing, and let him know, okay, sorry for disrespecting you. I didn't mean to touch you, and just sage yourself, cleanse yourself as much as you can.
Yeah, bathe
Because
yourself.
I think it is a curse thing or something's going on. There's a lot of that there.
Mm.
Creepy.
Now, what's the difference between voodoo and witchcraft?
Oh, that's a good question because I don't dabble in those things, but I think the voodoo is more well. They're I wouldn't want to say they're the same, but they do practice like magic things.
Yes.
They're doing curses. I think voodoo might be more on the curse side of things, where they're doing ritual. Well, witchcraft you do rituals too, but voodoo, I think that's more on a curse.
Yes.
They do a curse on somebody, okay? And I think the witchcraft is more on the magical side of things, depending if they're a dark witch, are they a green witch, are they a white witch, depending on what type of witch and what they're doing.
Now, do you believe that there are still witches among us?
I believe in a lot of things. I think that the world is too big for there not to be all these things out there. I'm a very open-minded person. I wouldn't say I'm gullible, but I am very open to things. I think there's something going on. Anything's possible to me. I mean, I believe in aliens. I believe in a lot of the cryptids, but I've not seen a lot of those things.
Yes.
Like
Now, I supposedly spoke to a witch. She's into witchcraft, and she does a bunch of things that I thought were really, really strange. I went to my buddy's house, and she had like this seance room. It was just very strange to me, and nobody was allowed to be in there except for her. And this is his wife. He's been married to her for like 30 years, and he has never stepped foot in that room. So I did not step in that room, but I definitely opened up that door, and the door had like this strange little like lock on it that she had a key for and stuff, and then the door was just cracked, so I just peeked my head in a little bit, and it was weird. It was just so strange. Hundreds of candles. The smell of that room just smelled like a hippie shop. But just overwhelming. And she had a bunch of stuff, and she's just like, I want to say she's a strange woman or anything, but she's definitely unique in her own little way. She's very to herself with some things. She always carries around this weird, strange book. I don't really say it's like a spell book or anything like far-fetched like that, but just more so just a book. But she truly believes that she is in control of a lot of things that she does in her life. And we were talking one night about not necessarily witchcraft, but we were talking about the paranormal stuff, and she got like really offensive on talking about the paranormal, about like we were making fun of her, and she got really upset at us, and I was so scared that I upsetted this person because like I was like, again, I'm kind of a skeptic, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, like you're not no witch. But she like proved me wrong with a bunch of like stuff that was happening. I don't even know what happened and stuff, but it's just strange to me, and like how you said, like there's just so much stuff out in the world that we just don't know about. Nothing.
Supernatural things.
Supernatural things that are just so strange, and I'm just like, I'm in it to win it, but I'm not in it to win it with that stuff.
No.
I don't want nothing to do with that. So you go be a witch and you go spooky somewhere else, because I'm not about that. And honestly, I don't really talk to that guy no more. So maybe that was like a thing that she's done or whatever, but that was the last time I've ever seen him or talked to him. So it's like maybe she was like, avoid this person. Because I wasn't really making fun of her. I was just asking questions because like I'm just curious, but she took offense to it, and I just yeah, it was just really strange for me. She was just she was a really strange person, and just honestly, I didn't trust her as a human being. Just,
always trust your senses,
Yeah, that was definitely a strange event on my part, but things happened on that. I know you said you got this attraction coming up in late August. What's the haunt called? You said.
I think it's AMS Attractions.
AMS
and
Attractions.
It's up there. It's in Tennessee by Gettysburg.
Okay.
And they contacted us about a month and a half ago, having some things going on. Their workers are terrified. They're being pushed. There was a lady that was a medium who actually picked up one of these dolls. They have a room called the doll room. And she picked up this old porcelain doll, and the doll told her, "Put me down." And after she put it down, she felt like something whipped her across her neck, and she felt burning. And they took a picture, and she's got 3 marks going all across her neck. And I don't know, I think she might have went back one more time, but the workers are terrified. He says he has a hard time getting them to work for him and to go in certain areas in the place. And there is a graveyard in front of the location.
Yeah, that might be a problem. Now, when you go to investigate these amazing places, what is your goal?
I'm out to look for as much evidence of the afterlife that I can, and capture something, an apparition, which we have, and a shadow figure, something. I want something solid proof, The EVPs, I love getting the EVPs because those are some of the best.
Now, I think when it comes to EVPs, I mean, doing the EVPs is probably the easiest part, but I think the hardest part is going back and listening. I have too much ADHD to sit down and listen to an audio. That's just me, though. I was just like, what am I listening to? Am I listening to a bunch of gibberish?
My sisters have that too.
And it's so hard. But I also think that you have to be extremely focused and the want to do this.
Well, when you're out in the field, you can do what we call an EVP burst.
What's that?
And that saves you from having to go back through all that. That is where you actually do a recording right then and there, and you play it back.
Oh, okay. So you basically ask a question, and then you wait a few seconds, and then you go back and listen to it.
Yeah, you do it all right then and there.
No, that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool. Now, do you guys, when you guys pre-record your guys' stuff and physically watch it, or is it just hard edited, like a raw video?
Everything is live for us. Everyone loves watching it live. I'm not a technical person. Now, my sister, Bobby Joe, is very interesting. She's very, she's very technical, but she doesn't know how to edit videos and all that. But she's also a mechanic too. So she's, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and she's good with the equipment, the cameras and stuff like that too. I am too, but to a certain extent. But everyone loves us going live. If we don't go live, they are bugging us. Are you going live? live. When's your show? But that's good because they want to see it now.
Yeah.
And you got some people who are skeptics, and when you're editing videos and stuff that, and you're catching really good stuff, someone might say, oh, that, but if you actually are showing people what you're doing in live, they're there, they're witnessing, and they can watch you try to debunk something. I mean, that's the good stuff.
That is the good stuff, because it's like, how did I edit that when it's live?
That's right. You've seen it live.
Absolutely. Now, here's a good question. What are your beliefs on the witching hour?
Oh, I do believe in that. I do believe that the veil does get thinner and thinner as it goes. And
No, what did you say right there? The what?
The veil.
What's that?
That is where it's the spiritual world.
Okay, the veil.
So it just gets thinner and thinner between our world and the spiritual world, the veil in between us.
Now, why do you think it does that at 3 a.m.?
I think it begins earlier. At 2 o'clock is when I think it does, but it does go from 2 to like 5, I believe they say. I think it's just a matter of opinion when you're out there. Well, because it seems like they get more active.
Yeah.
But spirits can be active anytime of the day. I mean, there's no time, but a lot of people are more to believe that at nighttime is when it gets active. But at nighttime is when a lot of the darker things will come out too, because a lot of times they lay dormant. They don't want to be seen yet, so they come out at night.
Sorry, I heard something. I didn't know what it was. I'm not even gonna question it. But I was just like, what the hell was that?
I investigate my house.
Yeah. Well, ever since, like I told you before, the 3 knocks. I'm just waiting to hear that again. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know if it's my headphones or not. But anyways, that was just weird. Shit. The witching hour. So every time I've noticed at night. A lot of stuff, a lot of weird stuff. I'll hear a tap or the knocks, but then it comes to the point where it's like, okay, whatever. But I definitely had a cool experience at the haunted house, where it was around witching hour. 2 o'clock hits. We get thousands and thousands of customers every single night. Well, I was acting, doing my thing, and we deal with a bunch of fog. Fog is
he's really getting spooked.
It's my son. It's my kid.
ADHD
It's my
in.
kid. I knew I heard something. Okay, there he goes. Oh my goodness! This time I heard footsteps behind me, and I'm like, okay, I really need to stop for a second. No, there it is.
Look, I'm in a room where a lady actually passed away.
Oh my!
In this room, and she's been seen. I've seen her here.
But anyways, the fog was playing with me and stuff, and I was working in this thing called a chain maze, and I was just watching and stuff, and I remember watching a customer come down, and I was waiting for them. I had a chainsaw in my hand. I was doing my thing, and I was waiting for her, and I knew it was a lady because she had long blonde hair. She was wearing a white shirt. Couldn't really see the under her pants or anything because of the fence and stuff. And I was watching her do her thing. She was looking around. She wasn't screaming. She was just observing and stuff. And then she walks into the fog, and like I try to go behind her to get a nice little pop scare. There ain't nothing. And there's only 2 ways in. And they're literally like, you have to go through the maze to exit the maze. But she was gone. I was like, well, this is unfortunate. I either lost a customer, she escaped the maze by climbing over the maze, or I'm messing with a spirit right now, and I'm just gonna ignore it and continue the night. Well, I wasn't the only one that's seen it. I seen my buddy and I, Metzger, which is ironic as hell. He's like, yeah, dude, I seen the same thing, and he said that he was right behind her when she went into the fog, and he was going the opposite direction to get in front of her, and I was supposed to go the opposite the directions to get behind her, and we met in the middle, and she just wasn't in plane. She wasn't there. She was gone.
Oh wow,
No,
that's awesome.
That was.
I mean, to experience that is awesome.
But again, I didn't know what I seen, so I keep it in the vault, and I continue on and just seeing. But with
those places are haunted, those haunted attractions, you got to think, depending on if it's a house, an old house, Is it an old building that was there for years and years and it has history, or the land? And you have to think all these people going there, all these people, they're excited and some of them scared to death. All that energy there is just kicking up. And then all these spirits that are lingering around, and depending on what type of spirit,
I don't
you
know.
don't know what you're going to come across.
So what do you think about shadow people?
Oh yeah, yeah. It depends. I think that some shadow people, if you can actually see the true form of what looks like a person, that is dark and you don't see their true form, is because they don't have enough energy to manifest and show their true self, what they really look like.
Okay.
But then you got the non-human things, and they look like a black dark blob.
Oh, okay. Yes,
captured
yes.
those.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think that's what the St. Augustine Lighthouse, when they had the full apparition of the shadow people, when it was leaning over the guardrail on top of the highest balcony or whatever. And again, that scares me really, really bad. But I think it's not more of a fear, but it's more of a wow moment. Like, whoa. But why ain't
You
people
should test your fear.
Yeah,
You should.
why ain't people
You
talking
know what I
about
did?
it? Yes, I'd love to hear it.
So there's a place in out here in Ohio, Bucyrus. I spent the night, and I have investigated this haunted bed and breakfast numerous times. Okay, and it is huge, out in the country, cornfields and woods, no neighbors. You're in the middle of nowhere, and we were allowed to come there and investigate numerous times. Well, I said, okay, I do isolations, and that's scary too. But I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go spend the night alone
Oh my
in
gosh.
this bed and breakfast, and I'm going to have a live feed running on me while I sleep. And you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I was the only person in this huge place, and I had a spirit smack my butt. There's a bar there. I felt someone tap my butt, and the spirit was laughing through my device, because I'm like, oh my God, something just touched my butt. And spirit said butt through my intercom, or not my intercom box, but my ink box, and was laughing through the box. But the whole night was just, I was on edge because I'm alone, and I know that there's spirits watching me and they're communicating with me. But yeah, and I had to walk outside at 1 o'clock in the morning to the other barn where there's more rooms. And that was really creepy, because there is something more darker over there. And plus the land's very, very active out there too. And I'm going to tell you, when I walked into this one room, this was summertime, all of a sudden the fireplace turns on. I was sitting there talking to the spirits, and fireplace turns on, and I'm like, okay, if the jacuzzi tub turns on, I'm out of here, because now I'm out. But it was scary. I tested my fear though, because the energy, you can feel the energy in these places. It is scary. But I actually did it. I investigated all night long live. I had a live feed set up on me. I even woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning because somebody was calling my phone. One of my followers, your live stopped. Your live stopped. And I'm like, I got to walk downstairs in the dark and turn this stuff back on. And I did. I did.
Hey, that's commitment.
Yeah.
I did.
That's crazy.
They watched me, guys, all night. They watched me sleep, but all by myself, I was there.
Maybe I shouldn't be afraid of my fear anymore. Maybe I should just,
Test your fear
Just
sometimes.
Face it.
Yeah.
Just face it. I still get scared. I get scared out there. There's sometimes I'll be like, I'm not going to do this isolation. Nope, I'm not doing it. Nope.
I'm like a little chihuahua that hikes his tail in between his legs and starts hauling ass when something happens.
Well, I'm very jumpy because I always got something trying to, it's like they know I'm jumpy, so they want to pick on me, the spirits.
See, that's how I am. And like my friends and stuff, when I go through a haunted house, I've worked at haunted houses for 17 years of my life, and I am the biggest wimp when it comes. I know the ins and outs of haunted houses to the T. I know it all. But you send me through one, I'm not having a good time. But and I think that's good for what we're doing when it comes to content and stuff. I'm a wimp. So let's send the wimpiest person into this field and see what happens. So like Andrew and I came up with a pretty cool idea where we want to get at least one night into a hotel. What that was Millersburg Hotel. I think that's what it was called.
Millersburg.
And they have experiences there all the time. And I said, well, dude, let's get one night. We stay up all night and we talk to the owners. We tell them who we are and what we're doing there and stuff, and see what we can do and pick up. Again, that sounds great.
Awesome.
But I'm a wimp.
Listen, they feed off of that. The one who's really scared, the one that's like that, they will feed off of that.
They'll make it worse for you. Yeah.
They do.
So I'd end up being there by myself.
Listen,
I'll be
I've
there.
done
I
it.
got you.
We've been to Trans-Allegheny. We've been to Waverly Hills. We've been everywhere, guys. And I have put myself through some stuff because being the lead investigator, I got to take one for the team all the dang time. Now, I have laid where they kept the dead bodies. I have literally laid in there by myself in the dark. I have done everything to just try to get that communication with spirit. And it's not an easy thing to do. It ain't, because I was scared. I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be the first to say it. And, you know, people think, oh, well, you're live. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm live, but these people ain't here. So if something actually does happen, they can't help me.
Yeah.
They're just not with me, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's hard for me for like the new paranormal shows that are out. A lot of the guys have a whole crew with them, and it's like, man, this is kind of hard to believe. But Andrew and I came upon these two guys called Ghost Theory. They're over in
Ghost Theories
overseas, and they're strictly a YouTube channel, and the quality is absolutely beautiful. What they do, they find these old abandoned homes in the middle of the woods over in like Scotland or something. It's completely
UK.
Oh, wow.
UK. And Andrew and I, at first we watched this one part where they were upstairs in this abandoned house in the middle of the woods, and it was just them two. They both have EMF readers. They have EVPs going. They have both cameras, thermal and non-thermal and stuff. And they walk up the steps and stuff, and the guy's like, hey, we heard a knock over here, and there's two doors. There's one door right here and a door right here. So they walk past it, and then dude said something, and then he turned around, and the footage was facing the other guy. Well, the guy said, hey, the knock's coming in here. As he's pointing at the door is like, they got like pulled. No, it was pushed. Either way, it was one of those. And we're like, that seems, it looks like he touched it, but they've replayed it, and his finger never touches the door. But then what really got us is after all that happened, you know, them two were just staring at each other, and they're right next to the staircase going down the steps. You just heard the walking up the steps, and then it continued for a few seconds, and I was sitting here like, yeah, that ain't happening. If I knew if I'm sitting here with another team member and we're investigating this abandoned home in the middle of the woods in the UK, and something's walking up the steps and it's not an animal, I'm high diving off out of the window, and I'm possibly gonna
go towards it.
I'm gone. But I'm gonna try my best, like, cause like if we did, like, I would love to tag along with you guys to experience this. I promise I won't hike my ass out. That's just
listen, we have fun.
Okay.
And spirits will feed off of that. They love the energy. You don't want to be boring when you're investigating. You know, if you're too serious, I'm not saying don't be serious when you're out there, but you don't want to be too boring, because you got to think these spirits were once people too. And do you want to communicate with boring people? No. You want to go, where's the party? Over here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they love that energy. They love it when people are getting scared or screaming or laughing or whatever the case is. They love that energy. So that makes it more intense. But I will say, if you guys are looking for a hotel, you should go to Indiana to the Rhodes Hotel.
Write that down.
It was a brothel. We actually captured our first apparition there.
Okay. Rhodes Hotel?
Rhodes Hotel.
Wow.
These ghosts are gonna love me.
So how many years active have you been doing this with your sisters?
6 years in October.
6 years. That's a good
But
month
my
to
whole
start.
life I've been dealing with spirits, so
Wow. Now, and when it comes to your fan base, like you obviously probably have haters and you have like fans also. But the way I look at it is, if you hate it, you're still going to us and you're clicking that video and you're giving us help. So thank you on that. That's the way I try to look at things. I mean, you can hate us all you want. That's cool. And if you
people
don't believe
say
it,
I do things that um they told me, they say, oh, Mandy, she's doing things that they say you shouldn't be doing, but she's doing what she wants.
yep.
And I do what I want. No one's going to tell me how to do an investigation.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it how I want and what I feel I'm doing. If I'm doing it the wrong way, then I will learn from that. Because when you first start, you're going to not do everything right. When we first started, I did not really know what I was doing, but I had to learn the hard way. Like I used to think dust particles were orbs.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. You learn as you go.
Okay.
But a lot of people say, you shouldn't be doing things, but no, I do what I want. That's what I say. Nope, I'm going to do what I want and I'll do it how I want.
Now, do they have
Oh.
sorry, Andrew. Do they have like conventions and stuff for like meetings and for like the paranormal investigators and stuff?
Yeah, there's people that set up events. There's people where they teach you how to do investigations. You can come do public events and things like that. That's a good start for a lot of people, or you can go with an actual team and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Sorry, buddy. What'd you say, bud?
All right. This is me and Mandy talking now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mortis, you've had your hour and 20 minutes of talking, dog.
I'm backing up.
So I've got a few questions. When it comes to the orbs, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. One of your videos that you posted, it might have been a short. You guys were in the basement, and I believe there was light fixtures above, and what it appeared to be was some type of raining on top of your crew. And a lot of people were like, yeah, that's dust particles.
That is, we actually had only probably been in the field 6 months, under a year, something like that. So again, we had just started out. What we did find out, because that was a girl that was on my team when I first started, and she was one that told me about the dust orbs. What I thought was orbs, she would say, no, that's dust, Mandy. But we were at a jail, an old jail in our hometown, and we were in there, and she, on the video, when she went back and reviewed it, and it did look like a bunch of stuff coming down on us, and it was dust. But at that time, we actually thought it was like orbs just coming down. It looked like that, but there was some type of vent or something. I can't remember what it was. We ended up figuring it out, but she actually thought it was orbs, even though she was kind of skeptical too. But yeah, that's a prime example.
I was wondering if you guys had debunked that, or because if you watch the video, it does kind of look like it's in and out. I'm like, I don't know if that's dust particles or not, because it was coming down perfectly. I'm like,
And that's why she questioned it too. I thought it looked like dust to me, but she says, maybe it looks like we're being rained on by these orbs. The way they were just all coming down in one direction was weird. So I don't know. It's just one of them old videos where you kind of learn.
Oh, I got you.
You watch back and you're like, oh gosh, I actually thought that was an orb. Yeah.
So I've got a list of places that are featured a lot on a lot of these ghost adventure shows, especially here in Ohio. This is mainly just Ohio because we're kind of trying to keep it about Ohio.
For now.
Eventually venture out. So just let me know if you've visited them or not. You've got the Moonville Tunnel, which is in MacArthur, Ohio. You have went there?
Been there, got stories on that one too.
Did you happen to go with Jeanette Quakenbush with her walkthrough? All through Hammond, Ohio?
No.
No, okay. Licking County Historical Jail.
Actually filmed there when I did the Ghost Brothers. We did reenactment there.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, we definitely want to look into that. the Ohio State Reformatory, which you said you've investigated a couple times and was one of your
Okay.
first investigations.
Mhm.
Mackey's, which is, well, I guess
What?
it's
You
Kentucky.
said Bobby
Yeah.
Mackey's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you or no?
I have not been there yet. Only reason why is because the time they only give you like 3 to 4 hours to
Yeah.
investigate.
Yeah, it's a
So
5-hour tour, and they
Yeah,
use your setup time too in that. And I was like,
I like
Wow.
longer. I gotta have a longer extension there.
yeah. Loveland Castle.
Oh yes, over in yes, I've investigated that,
Okay.
but it
Yeah.
was a public thing I did.
Yeah, their overnight is actually one of the better ones I've seen price wise, because I didn't know that you had to pay for some of these places, like the Ohio State
Yes,
Reformatory for
it
the
gets
overnight
expensive,
is
guys.
$1,500,
Yeah.
But
and you only can be there till 2 a.m.
And you can include, like, with that $1,500, like 15 people, so it's $100 per person. So it's not too
We
bad.
do a lot of that.
But it's the
Yep.
time that gets us.
Yeah, it's the 6
Yeah.
p.m. to 3 a.m., which it's not a bad time. You just wouldn't want to really go in the summertime when the sun's still up to 9 o'clock. And then where else was it? You said you've been to the Post-Town Elementary, which we really want to go to. How did you get the connection for that?
One of the girls on my team, she was did some research on locations, and I believe we seen Ghost Brothers were there. Yeah, the Ghost Brothers have been there, and I had seen that episode, and I think the girl that was on my team reached out, and next thing I know, we're going.
Nice. Liberty Township, the Ohio school. You've been there a couple times and investigated.
Oh my, y'all listen. That place, I can tell you right now, that place scared. I've been to Middle Point School too. That's a good one y'all need to check out. But I'm gonna tell you, this Township Liberty, I got connections. Because we've been out there a long time, so we got connections. So I won't say on here, but we get in. And let me tell you, this place is off the chain. That place is crazy.
Yeah, I've seen you guys
it.
had used the cat balls. I've
Yeah.
never seen those actually used until I just watched that Netflix series, and when I seen your guys' video. Now I have heard or seen reviews about them because we've looked into them, that they can be unreliable, and I'm not sure how they work. Is it by movement and they flash?
You have to go over and touch the ball, physically touch it, or like a loud vibration. If it's on the floor and someone's walking by and they're stomping, that vibration is going to set that ball off. But there's no sensor on it. You have to literally touch it.
So if the wind's
That's what's
blowing,
so amazing about the ball.
if the wind blows it, would it go off?
If the ball rolls, it's going to light up.
Okay. All right. And then the last thing that I can think of right now is the Estes method. I had never seen that until I seen your guys' YouTube and I watched that Netflix doc. When it comes to the Estes method with mediums or sensitives, do you feel like you sense a lot more than if, like, say, a regular person was to do the Estes method?
I think so. I really do.
Yeah, that method I've never seen before, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
What's
It makes sense.
What is
They
that?
call my name through the boxes all the time.
So
and
the
other people doing the Estes method, I won't even mention my name, like when I'm asking questions, and they will say my name, and it freaks me out. They were doing it last night, calling my name out. The ink box says my name and stuff.
And so the Estes method is how you was talking about earlier, how you had the sound deafening earphones and stuff. Well, you put the headphones in, plug it into your spirit box, and you have a blindfold on.
Yep.
So it's pretty much just takes away, it magnifies your senses.
Takes away the reality a little
to your
bit.
ears.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can hear everything clearly without actually seeing. So you're not seeing something and hearing something, two different things, or altering your
Oh my.
hearing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're hearing, you're right.
There was another thing that the guy had used, which was the I can't remember what it's called, but it also deals with your senses. You go into the pool with the water and salt, and you put a tarp over it or the tent over it. Have you guys ever used that method before?
No, but I'd like to.
That'd be
Yeah, that right
wild.
there.
I'd like to.
Like when I seen the dude do it, I was like, oh, he's afraid he's gonna drown or something. I don't know about all this stuff. Like you could see him sit. Like I guess he put a shit ton of salt in there and a bunch of water. And what the salt does is it makes you float. So you're sitting there underneath the water pretty much up to your face, and you pretty much just feel everything that's happening paranormal around you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. You've got to watch it, dude. You've got to
I'd
watch
like
it.
to try it. If I ever get a chance, I'm probably diving right in.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, I don't know about all that.
I have a new device called the brainwave.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. What's that?
Okay, so Katie Stafford, he is seen on Discovery Plus in the Travel Channel. He built our ink box, which I'll show you guys real quick.
Okay.
This device looks like an 80s boom box. Look at that right there. Okay, which is awesome because this records, the old tapes will record anything that's coming through this box. So there's an FM and an AM station, which sweeps really fast for spirits to communicate through. And there is a sweep 1 and sweep 2, which is just a faster, quieter. It kicks out all that noise that you hear, the white noise. So this guy created that device, and he's been on The Devil's Perch. He was on Ghost of Morgan. He was they call him the mad scientist. He builds equipment, and I love his work. He built this. He built the brainwave. Only a few people have the brainwave, and I was one of the first to get it. And it's not for sale, and I got it. And what it is, you connect it to the spirit box that they have. Okay, it has a sensor you put on your head, and it has this sensor right here and these clips that go to your ears. And what it does is it's reading your mind. Okay, I can literally speed up the spirit box. There's no sweep in it, and a sweep is something that makes the go faster, the radio go faster. This has no sweep built into it. It's just set on a regular station. It's just running through it. But I can literally make this thing go as fast as I want it. I control it. But the whole point of this object is to read your mind, and it comes through that box. So say I'm in a room and I got this device on, and I'm picking up on spirits, okay? And whatever's in my mind that I'm receiving is going to come through that box.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's really cool.
Is that kind of like the God's helmet that the demonologist had used?
Yeah, but it's not a huge helmet like that. No.
Right.
But
what's the God? What'd you say, Andrew?
God's helmet, or he called it something else as well.
That is what he called it. It's a helmet you put it on and you can see the spirits. What? It's meant to make where you actually see them.
It kind of made him look like Thanos for real.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was when he put it on and the way he reacted to his surroundings and what was going on. I was like, holy shit!
Wow,
yeah,
like it was crazy.
Well, this brainwave, they say that the longer you have it on, you want to be careful because it really opens up doors, and it will open your senses up, your psychic abilities, your mediumship up even more. And I'm going to tell you, I have worked for hours at a time, and I've had some weird stuff with that. But we've been testing it out in the field. We've used it about 5 times out there because I just got it this year, so it's fairly new. And so there's different ways to use it, but we've been trying to find the best way to where it makes sense using it out in the field.
Okay, that's I with all these, there's so many devices out there that just I am completely unaware of. And like I have just now heard about the spirit box. This is probably my 8th year knowing about it, because I know like ghost hunters and stuff, the old ghost hunters, they didn't really use stuff like that. They used like the thermal cameras, the EVP recordings,
They
Oh,
don't use spirit boxes. I don't think I've ever seen
I
them
don't think
use.
I've ever seen them, but like
Ghost
the
Adventures
Ghost
uses
Adventures uses them like
Yeah.
Zach does.
They use the puck.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. But with stuff like that, man, it's like, wow, this is nice. That's more money I'm gonna spend.
Well,
But
there's
yeah,
also
they're getting intelligent responses.
Yes.
there's also that spirit box that one of the groups were using where it was connected to. It was kind of like a electromagnetic field device where it had the two metal rods that generated the electricity when they wound it up that magnified the spirit box.
Like a Jacob's ladder type of thing.
I forget what they had called it. They used it on the Netflix series though. Yeah, I
I've
thought
seen
that was pretty
28
cool too.
Days Haunted, so I probably know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, because I think theirs was like the boombox version also, but
Well,
they
I
also
have,
had something connected to the back of it to magnify it, and it generated electricity by winding it up.
oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we have a device, another spirit box made by Jay Prather, and Jay Prather makes most of the devices you see Ghost Adventures using. And this is the intercom box, and it's also a direct link, and it will use your energy. So like I can let it run as a regular spirit box, or I can actually touch it and they use my energy.
Wow.
And you can tell the difference whenever you touch that. Like it'll be running, sweeping, quiet, it'd be just regular white noise coming through it. And you'll hear it, but when you touch that, it's like boom, it kicks it up even more. The energy goes right through that box. It's crazy.
Now, is
We
that
were
ran off
using it
batteries
last night.
also?
Huh?
Is it ran off batteries also?
Yes.
So it gets drained quite
Oh yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, does anybody ever like just sit there and be like, man, these people are just wackos?
I'm sure they do. We used to get, well, I do spiritual writing too. So can you imagine I'm out there doing, like, I don't want to know nothing about a location, and I'll go in and do some 5 minutes of spiritual writing, and I'm channeling with these spirits, right? Which is dangerous to do because I'm allowing them to, come inside and write. But yeah, we've had people say some rude comments, and my sisters take care of them. Like,
Good.
oh, delete. Or they'll be like, well, why are you here watching for? Move on.
Yeah,
You know?
go on with
Right.
your bad self. Nobody wants to deal with that. No more
That's my
negativity.
sisters. They take care of it for me.
Now, like one of the things that I always try to live by every single day is positivity, 100% every day of my life. When you go into an investigation, if you have that one bad apple, does that ruin your whole investigation, or does it
Heighten?
yeah.
Like heighten the experience.
Like you just have that one
Never
bad
happens.
apple that's like, there's some bad juju with this person, but we're going to continue with the investigation.
Yes, I've had that a lot happen. If you're collaborating with other people, sometimes there's that one that is just like, oh man, you kind of want to get away from them, But yeah, we've actually had throughout the years different people on the team, and it would get like that. That one, if that person wasn't in a good mood, and it's like, oh, okay, listen, we can't be going in here in a bad mood, because that will really, a spirit will really take over.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yes. Yeah, I live by that. I actually, if I can get this.
What you see when we're out there live, how we are, we're fun. We do bicker on lives, but that's just sisters,
That's awesome.
The
Well,
energies affect me when I'm around my sisters. It'll affect my sisters too. And you can tell it too. It's like, oh my gosh.
Well, it definitely
Like,
seems like you got like a really good motivational group with you. And
Yeah.
you can feel that in the videos. You can see that in the pictures and stuff. I read a book at least once a day. It's called John C. Maxwell Daily Reader. And it's a really cool book. You find the date on what you're on, and you just read it. And it either tells you about teamwork, how to stay motivated, how to stay positive with things. Talks about spiritual stuff where, if there's something around you, make sure that they know that you are safe and that everything's okay, and you're going to continue to walk forward and take that step that you want in your life. And I see it with you guys because you guys have a lot of motivation, a good bond, especially the fact that you guys are family. And I think that helps with you guys continue with the growth of your guys' company and your content. That nothing's stopping us.
That's right. I'm a go-getter. I am the queen of wands. I am a go-getter.
That's awesome.
And I don't stop. And we're actually growing at a rapid speed. We're getting 2,000 new followers every month.
That's wonderful.
And the reach, we have reached 4 million something people on Facebook.
That's so cool.
That's our biggest platform right now.
Oh,
Trying to get everything else. TikTok's getting out there. We got over 12,000, but TikTok's a little bit harder. YouTube's harder, but we're actually starting to grow over there too.
Yep.
But Facebook just said,
yeah, that's how we were on like my last show and stuff. We were just doing so well. And then just like the other platforms, like the algorithm is just very hard to figure out. But we try not to worry about numbers. Our numbers are just another number in the world. It's all about the teamwork and the motivation that we give each other and stuff. And even if it involves, the paranormal, the extraterrestrial, or Bigfoot, or whatever, we will argue about it, and then we'll figure it out. That's just what a good team is. So like with what we're dealing with, and the fact that we were able to message you guys and talk to you guys about this, this is one in the books for us, 100%.
Amazing.
It is. It's pretty good to venture off from the stuff that I've been dealing with for the past 5 years on a different podcast and touching my foot in some waters I've never placed my foot in before. But it feels like I've known about it for a while. And then like just talking with you, I've never met you in my life, and I felt like I've known you forever. So there's definitely great energy with you, a good vibe. And again, I am so sorry for muting the last show. That was the biggest mistake.
It's all good.
But when he said that you're still down to do it, I was like, oh, thank you so much. Holy crap. But with that being said, guys, do you have any more questions for Mandy?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
I'm just wondering where to get the merch.
Yeah.
I see you're wearing the shirt. Yeah, I see you're wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we just had a whole bunch made. We got the toboggans. We have the sweatshirts. We got all different colors too. We got the green, orange. I think there's even like a yellow or something, the hot pink, a variety of stuff. So
yeah,
just let me know.
Oh, absolutely. Hands down.
Wear them out there. They glow in the dark.
Sweet. All right. Well, with that being said, I guess this is our time to say goodbye again. And Andrew will keep in touch with you. We'll speak and talk and see eventually where there's a location where we can do a tag along and go from there.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Well, I appreciate it so much, Mandy.
Collaborate.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We found parts of the bodies all over the house, in places you wouldn't think. The funny thing is the heads have never been found. Hands and feet and things like that, but no heads.